Kidney 26 is in the first intercostal space, 2 cm lateral to the midline.
To find lung 10, find the midpoint of the shaft of the first metacarpal and go in between that point and the muscle of the thenar eminence.
Lung 11 is at the radial nail point of the thumb. So in order to find that point, I'm going to look at where the proximal and radial borders of the nail meet. I'm going to look at the nail bed, feel for where the flare of the bone is, and put my point in. Large intestine 1 is at the radial nail point of the index finger. I'm going to be looking at the proximal and radial borders, looking and feeling for the flare of the bone, looking at where the nail bed is, and putting my point in. Large intestine 4, you're going to find the length of the second metacarpal bone. So running your finger down, finding the base, making sure that you're not actually on the carpal bones themselves, finding the midpoint of that shaft of bone, coming between the first and second metacarpals, nearer to the second than the first, in the muscle. Sandjal 4, which is on the dorsum of the wrist, in between 2 tendons, extensor digitorum communis and extensor digiti minimi, and popping my point in.
Pericardium 9 is found at the very tip of the middle finger. An alternative location is the radial nail point of the same finger. Be sure to mark this point clear of the nail bed.
Large intestine 1 is at the radial nail point of the index finger. I'm going to be looking at the proximal and radial borders, looking and feeling for the flare of the bone, looking at where the nail bed is, and putting my point in.
Kidney 2 is located distal and inferior to the tuberosity of the navicular bone. To find this bone, place your finger on the medial malleolus and then move down and slightly anterior until you come to a very prominent bony lump. If you come too far forwards, you will fall onto a different bone, the cuneiform bone, but it doesn't stand out so much. When you find this bony lump, mark your point, kidney 2, just distal and inferior to it. Kidney 7 is located 2 cm directly superior to kidney 3. Locate your kidney 3, move up by 2 cm and mark this point directly on the anterior border of the tendocalcaneus. Stomach 42 is located on the dorsum of the foot between the second and third metatarsals and the cuneiform bones. It's approximately 1.5 sun proximal to stomach 43. In some people, when they point their foot and pull up their toes, a nice depression appears here. Stomach 43 is located on the dorsum of the foot between the second and third metatarsals. It's 1 sun proximal to stomach 44. An easy way to find it is to divide the distance from stomach 41 to the end of the web margin between the second and third toes into thirds. This will give you your location for stomach 43. Liver 2 is located 1/2 sun proximal from the edge of the web margin between the first and second toe.